If you do a lot of email marketing in your business, your ministry, or your business ministry, then you want to stay tuned so that you can be up to date with the recent changes that Google is rolling out, because this can affect your business emails going forward. And it's very important for you to be aware of these changes so that you can maneuver accordingly with the Lord into new strategies as well to make up for the gaps that might be taking place. Hi, my name is Adele. Welcome to my channel, Bold Christian Entrepreneur. I've been a kingdom entrepreneur for 8 years and I have 5 businesses that the Lord has blessed me with. On this channel, I share with you words of encouragement, hints, tips, tools, and things that the Lord taught me over these 8 years so that it might help you to launch even further in your calling of business ministry, or plain ministry. And so if that is something you're interested in, hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so that you can be up to date whenever I release a new video. Now, what are these changes that Google is rolling out? Well, there are 2 very important ones for us to look at. First of all, before we jump into that, you need to be aware that there's about 2 billion people in the world currently utilizing Gmail. And that means that for your business ministry, or ministry, most of the people that you have been sending email marketing towards are on this list, because most people are using Gmail, okay? And so this is only going to specifically affect those ones using Gmail. Now, the 2 big changes rolling out is, first of all, Google is making a massive change in the 20 years, right? And what they are now doing is they're allowing people with their primary personal email to change that primary personal email. So before, when you didn't like your email because you got stuck with it, you had to go and create a completely different new account and a new inbox. Now Google is going to allow users, for limited exemptions of course, to change their primary email. So for those of you who might have had a Gmail, personal Gmail you started in college that had a very funky name, and now as an adult you kind of wish that you didn't and you wanted to change it, that would be the opportunity to do that, because it is like refreshing your digital fingerprint in some sense. All right, so basically what this means is people, when they have now a new email, they will give that email out to other things that they want their personal email to be linked to. But they keep their old inbox and they still keep everything that they received email-wise in that account. So their old email will still remain active, but they will have a different primary one set up, if that makes sense. Part of that is to help some of the malicious emails that have come. But that doesn't mean it's going to stop malicious emails completely, because as they give out their new email again, malicious content can still come back into that inbox. But that is the strategy behind it. And because for that reason, there is still spamming and malicious content and stuff coming, the second part of what Google is planning on rolling out is to create aliases for your primary email. So that means if you go to a conference here or a church gathering there or somewhere and people are asking you for your email, you would then give them a alias email instead of your primary email. And what that does is it's basically like a email that's fake but not fake, in the sense of you're giving them an alias, but it's not going to be your main primary one. So it is going to stop a lot of the spamming and promotions and unwanted content that people have had, so that they only get in their main inbox where they're giving out their primary email address. So for example, for tax or government stuff, or only for their prime contacts. So it's going to be like a tougher layer for them to have marketing emails reach them when they just sign up on opt-in forms on a website, for example, or signing up on a funnel or something like that. If they are putting in an alias email or even their old one, then those things will be filtered out and they won't be able to get those materials right in front of them. They have to really deliberately go and search for them, because that is the whole main aim. They don't want to give out the primary email. They'd rather give an alias so that people don't have my actual email, right? So you need to be aware that those changes are coming. And so how that is going to work in the email marketing world, only time will tell as to the impact, because some people would be aware of the changes and some people will catch up later and some people will just be completely oblivious. But it is necessary for you to be aware of this, so that when you start seeing gaps in your email marketing, seeing drops in conversions, seeing drops in mailing lists and all of those kind of things, then you are already aware as to one of the big reasons why this might be, so that you don't go looking for issues in the wrong place, because it might not be your emails not succeeding, it might not be all these other things, it might be some of these stricter rules and rule outs and leniencies that Google is now allowing for users to have and implement. So, a strategy that you might want to consider and maybe combating is, if you have a Facebook page, then to create a Facebook group and try and get as many of your mailing people on there as well, so that you can interact with them directly through Messenger rather than relying on them receiving emails in an inbox as well. Or, there's different facets in which you can go about it. But just be aware of these changes. Sit with the Lord and ask Him how you need to maneuver for these rollouts that are going to happen and occur, so that you can be prepared for that. The other thing you need to be aware of, if you already have a Google Workspace account, you would have received emails from Google talking about the update of Gemini Assistant in emails. Now, if you are a business ministry that handles very confidential information, very confidential emails, so let's say people are really struggling in their walk or something and they give you very much details in depth of their life and all of that in your inbox, and you have that Gemini AI Assistant enabled, that Gemini AI Assistant is actually reading the emails. Okay, now Google says that they don't use that data to train their Gemini AI Assistant, but you must be aware that it actually does get stored in Google's cloud for Gemini. And so Gemini uses that to then make smart emails and all those kind of things for you. So just be aware of that. I recommend personally to switch off that feature, okay, completely, so that you don't have extra eyes reading your emails unnecessary. You have to ask yourself, is it really going to be needed for you to have that assistant when you are handling such confidential information? And the way for you to switch it off, if you do have your Google Admin Console open, you go there to the menu and find Generative AI. And then when you find Generative AI, you click on it and go to Gemini for Workspace. And there you can find that feature access and toggle it off. Right? So just be aware that, you need to keep that confidentiality if you have a lot of confidential things coming into your inbox. And it might be worth you also talking to your own clients about that, because if they have Gmail also has now rolled out Gemini Assistant for personal accounts, and they might not be aware that any email correspondence that you are sending to them, AI is reading as well. So it might be worth you sending out an email to your people as well and just educating them to switch that off if they want to keep their emails out of the eyes of AI as well. So I hope this video has blessed you. Share it with someone that is in business or ministry that you know are working with email marketing and will be affected by changes with Google and Gmail, so that they can be prepared.